The stock market is volatile. You see red. You're nervous. You're down. Your portfolio is less today than what it was a couple days ago. And you just don't know what to do. You feel helpless. You feel stressed out. Maybe your option trades are red. Maybe your sold puts are red. Your calls that you bought are red. Some shares that you bought on some speculative company is now red. And you just don't know how to allocate your portfolio forward from there. So following through this video start to finish is truly going to put things in perspective for you, where the market's at right now, and what to do with those positions, and even how to turn those losing positions around and actually make money with them. That's what it's all about here. I'm here to make money. You're here to make money. Let's not overcomplicate this. Let's keep it simple, and let's go dive in. So every single dip is not worth buying. Every single stock that you have in your portfolio is not worth holding. But by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to do, because sometimes they fall for a reason and it's a trap, and sometimes they fall and it's finally attractive and it is worth allocating heavily. And right now in this market, with the dip that we're seeing and the opportunities out there, there is a lot of things that we could capitalize on and potentially make a lot of money. Okay, so take a look at this right here. This chart on the top right is basically the holy grail of investing. This is what dictates everything in the stock market. It's basically looking at where the current share price is at versus where the fundamental value of that business is at. When you buy up here, when the share price is above where the fundamental value is at, you are overpaying for that stock. So your future returns going forward, when you overpay, like in this situation right here, it's not going to be good because you essentially just bought a bubble. You bought something when it was too expensive. So obviously up here, would it make sense to go buy calls and sell a bunch of puts and buy a bunch of shares and go on margin? No, of course not, because there's no margin of safety in that trade. There's not enough buffer because the share price is here and the fundamental value is all the way down here. Then what happens is this stock, maybe it falls 30, 40, 50%. We're looking at it right here. Everyone says it's a generational buying opportunity. The stock is so cheap. We're going to buy, we're going to leverage out, we're going to go buy a bunch of shares, sell a bunch of puts, buy a bunch of calls. We see this with a lot of stocks right now in the market. A lot of super, super expensive stocks that went from here, fell 40%, and now everybody's loading the boat on those stocks. But still, we are above the fundamental value on many of those companies. So it's still not compelling enough to allocate. So what we are looking for right now, and I'm going to give you some stocks that are very compelling right now, is down here, where the fundamental value is going up and to the right, and it's above where the current stock price is at. This is a time to be bullish. This is a time to allocate. This is when you want to go buy shares, sell puts, buy calls. This is when you want to allocate big time. So how do you know if you're getting a good deal on a company? How do you know if it's a bubble? How do you know if it's not a bubble? Let's do a couple examples right here, just super, super quick to keep it so simple. This is Palantir. The name of the game is to buy a good company at a good price. Earnings per share growth looks great. The profit growth rate here is where the stock's going to go in the long term. But you see the stock of Palantir coming down for some reason right now. Why is that? Because the valuation level is too high. You have a good company, but you're paying too much for it. How do you know you're paying too much? Because the price earnings ratio level is 137. What that theoretically means is if you buy the entire company of Palantir outright and the profits don't grow anymore going forward from here, it's going to take you 137 years just to get your initial investment back. Does that sound right to you? Does that sound reasonable? Does that sound realistic? Of course not. But if we go look at something like NVIDIA, which I know we talk about a lot here, but just put it in perspective. You have great earnings per share growth, great revenue growth, and it'll only take you 34 years to get your initial investment back. What looks more compelling? Look at AMD. AMD is a stock that, yes, we have decent earnings per share growth, decent revenue growth, but it's going to take you 98 years to get your initial investment back if the profits don't grow. Well, Brandon, the profits are going to grow. And I'm like, yeah, it's likely, but you're betting all your eggs on a coulda, woulda, shoulda, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. You want to have more margin of safety before you go allocate to these companies. Some are going to be clearly overvalued, some are going to be clearly undervalued, and just understanding that in the back of your head that you need to get a good company for less than what it's worth, and that's your margin of safety, it helps you separate the signal and the noise out of the market and just know where it makes sense to allocate. It's very, very simple. Don't chase the hot stocks. Chase the great companies that are beat up, where the sentiment is down. And honestly, right now in this video, we're going to go through more. There's a lot of opportunities out there right now because as the market falls, it's getting cheaper, safer, and more compelling, and there's more opportunities that are now popping up. Okay, so here's the simple way of how we're going to break this down. We're going to sort this into 3 different buckets. Real opportunities out there, not, a fake opportunity like this where it's like, oh my God, the stock fell a little bit, but it's still a bubble. legitimate, real opportunities out there. We're going to look at good companies that are just at a bad price that we'll just go add to our watch list. And then we will truly look at a company that is falling for a reason. And those are ones that you want to stay away from in a bullish way. So when we look at real opportunities, what are we looking for? We want to see a business that is still strong. They still have pricing power. People still want their products. There's demand for their products. Their profit margins are very, very fat. Their earnings per share is growing. The valuation is getting better. The revenue is growing. We want to allocate to companies like that, all when they're at a fair valuation level. But what a lot of people do is, again, they just see a stock go from here to here, and it's like generational buying opportunity, go load the boat, and then it just keeps going down as if they just caught a falling knife. So there is some real opportunities out there right now. You could see a few tickers that I listed right here. I've been talking about these on the channel for a while now. Are these stocks going to run up in the next week? I don't know. Are they going to run up in the next month? Possible. Are they very, very likely to run up in the next year? Very, very, very possible. Way more likely longer duration than short duration. Because when you give time for a stock to settle down here, which a lot of those are, and the fundamentals are still improving, this line right here is kind of like a magnet, like a rubber band. The more that you stretch the stock below it, when you let it go, ping, it wants to go back up to where the fundamental value is at. Up here, it wants to go ping and revert back down to where the fundamental value is at. So these companies, if you allocate and you're patient, no guarantees, but it's very possible you're going to do good on them. Looking at a good company, but at a bad price. The business is great, the revenue growth is great, the earnings per share is great, but you just simply need a better entry right now. So we see stocks right now like Palantir and AMD and Apple and ASML and ServiceNow. We see those companies falling right now. And you probably see online people saying this is a generational buying opportunity. They're good companies, but the valuation is still stretched. You are still buying those companies somewhere in this category right here. You need more buffer. You need more margin of safety. You need companies down here because your future returns going forward from this level is orders of magnitude higher than buying in this category and, of course, this category right here too. Now, there's also companies that are falling for a reason. Why? Because the growth is slowing, the margins are weakening, the guidance is not as strong, and the moat is questionable, meaning competition might come and crush them. So we're looking at Walmart, we're looking at PayPal, we're looking at Costco, potentially Intel. There's a lot of competition in the chip space right now, and Intel's kind of just like picking up the scraps. Yes, I know the stock has been sending to the moon, and that's why everybody loves it. And when I go talk crap on it here, it's like, Brandon, what the heck? How are you going to talk crap on my Intel? I just made so much money. Fine, but Intel is here. Intel is not down here. So while you did make money, I'm happy for you. Take a hard look at the valuation level that you are paying for Intel right now. It's almost a bubble in my opinion. And if you don't believe me, just look at the data right here. We see the earnings per share really going nowhere on Intel. We see the revenue technically declining, right? And you see the stock going like this. So it's obviously a disconnect because the profits dictate where stocks are going to go in the long term. The profits aren't going up, but the share price is. So what's happening is the price earnings ratio level is getting much higher, meaning Intel is getting fundamentally more and more expensive and less safe up here. So yes, the recent pullback is justified. It's justified to go way more down because look at it. It's 187 times price earnings ratio level. That's 187 years till you get your initial investment back if you buy the entire business outright. I know I just said a lot right there, but just think about it. Do you want to buy something that takes you 187 years to get your initial investment back? No, of course not. Like, I know I talk about Meta a lot again, but like, look at Meta right here. What is the price earnings ratio level of that? It's literally 18. There's so much more margin of safety in that. If you buy the entire business outright, you will get your initial investment back in 18 years. And then going forward from there, it's basically 100% clean profit in your pocket for what you bought the business for. So those are the deals that we're looking for. And yes, you see the stock really going nowhere. There's not a lot of hype on it, not a lot of euphoria, not a lot of excitement around it. But this is what happens for stocks oftentimes just before they make a big move. The stock goes sideways for some time. The profits go up for some time. The valuation level gets cheap for some time. And then a positive catalyst comes and the stock market says, okay, this stock is just way too cheap. We're going to price Meta at a 30 price earnings ratio level. And that would almost be a double for the stock to go from 18 to 30. So you want to look for deals like that. So what do we do? What strategy do we do in order to ensure that we're going to be fine in the long term? If the market keeps dipping, we're still going to be fine, but we're still allocating and buying the dip as we keep going down, down, down. Look, if we find a great business at a fair price, I'm okay to go buy some shares. If you find a great business at a good price, meaning a little bit better price than fair, I'm okay to go sell some put options. And if we find a great business that is extremely undervalued, I'm okay to buy shares, I'm okay to sell puts, and I'm okay to also go buy call options. That is the max way to magnify a trade in a bullish way. You have to get a great setup to want to go do max bullish trades, right? Buying shares, selling puts, and buying calls. But what if it's down here? What if it's a great business, but it's just too expensive? Like a Palantir right now, or an AMD, or an ASML, or a ServiceNow, or an Apple. You can't allocate. You have to get a better entry. You can't just say it's a good company, therefore I'm going to make a bunch of money on it. Look what happened to stocks last year. You saw Robinhood go 50% down. You saw SoFi go 50% down. So many stocks got cut in half by 50%, but right now the fundamental value of that business is actually higher now versus then. But the difference is you paid a bubble valuation for it back then, and right now it's more reasonable. So valuation levels do matter. So if you find a good business that's too expensive, just wait. Don't allocate. We will get volatility in this market. The market is going to be very, very bumpy with this AI build out happening right now. Whenever any new transformational technology comes out, it's always super bumpy. We will get volatility. We will get better entries. So simply be patient. Now, what if we have a bad business that is too expensive? We just avoid it straight up. It's not really complicated. Just don't buy it. There's no reason to speculate on it with your hard-earned money. Avoid it. So the goal right here is to get a great company at a good price, and based on how bullish you are, you buy shares, you sell puts, and you buy calls. It's not really too complicated. Okay, so what do we do next? We're going to build a watch list, and we're going to build it together, and I'm going to show you how to build it. Because what you do with your watch list is you find great companies, but maybe they're just a little bit overvalued. You just kind of have the watch list in your back pocket, and when you see volatility in the stock market like we're seeing right now, when the market pulls back, when you see some panic, you are already going to be ready to go. You know the thesis on a company, you know the story, you know that just because the NASDAQ and S&P is falling, everything is falling and dragging that company down with it. So you are ready to take action and buy the right dip on a company that makes sense to allocate to. So you know what you want before the panic happens. When that fear and that panic creates better prices, you act. You buy shares, you sell puts, you buy calls. So when everybody's emotional saying, oh my God, Brandon, the market is crashing. We're going to down the tubes. We're going to lose all this money. They're emotional and you're prepared. Because guess what? When they are emotional, they're going to be buying put options for top dollar. You could sell them puts for top dollar. You get more premium when you go sell your put. And when they're panicking, they don't want to buy call options at all. So you could go buy their call options for bottom dollar. So you're getting double bang for your buck on the stock option front. And then when you're just going and buying shares, you're just buying their shares at a discounted level because they're selling just because they're selling. They don't really know why they're selling. So that's why it's critical to build a watch list and put things on your radar, because when the share prices drop and they pop up as a buy, you already know what to do. You could keep emotions out of it. So what we got to do next is focus on what we can control, because you don't want to stress about, oh my God, the NASDAQ is falling. There's nothing I can do about it. What you want to do is say, which companies are getting cheaper? Which ones are still too expensive? And which ones can I use options to magnify an ultra bullish setup on? Find great businesses, check the valuation, use options only when it makes sense to do it, and then basically just build wealth patiently. And a lot of people are going to say, I don't want to be patient, Brandon. I want to make money right now. And I say, it's no surprise that 95% of people watching this video right now and watching any other YouTube video, they're not even going to beat the brainless S&P 500. They're not. But most people want action-packed videos. They want to buy the hot stock. They want to get rich quick. That's why you're not getting rich. That's why you're still here watching this video, because you're not rich. And I'm not trying to bag on you. I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm just saying, like, buy good companies for less than what they're worth. Be patient. Understand that the market in the short term is going to be volatile. Nobody knows what the market's going to do on a week-to-week or a month-to-month basis. So please quit trying to do option strategies and just swing trading and day trading shares when it's just a gamble. Nobody knows what the market's going to do in the short term. So when you try to bet on that, it's no surprise that you're losing money. It's not that you're dumb. It's not that you're stupid. It's just that you're trying to do something that is not predictable. So looking over here at my stock sheet, if we go down here in the bottom, right now at the time of recording this video, I see the S&P 500 as about 5% overvalued. The NASDAQ as about 5% overvalued too. And this is after the drop that we just got. This is after the volatility. So it just goes to show you the market fell and it is still expensive. You don't want to over allocate just yet. Yes, if we look towards the top of the stock sheet, anything with a score of a 75 or higher is potentially a buy. There's obviously more 75 on here right now because the market is cheaper, safer, and more compelling. But what most people are doing with their portfolios is they're like, oh my God, the world is melting. The stock market's never going to open up again. It's going to keep crashing forever. That's what most people are seeing. But what I'm starting to see is some deals out there, some opportunities, some things to capitalize on. That is where the money is at. So when you find deals, you buy shares if you're bullish, you sell puts if you're super bullish, and you buy calls if you are max bullish right now. Of course, understand where the S&P and NASDAQ is at, and then the goal is to find a great company at a good valuation, with good growth, with a solid moat, with not too much execution risk, and overall understand the backdrop of where the economy is at. And right now, the economy, in my opinion, it's honestly doing pretty good. So these are some of my most bullish companies towards the top. These are some of my most bearish companies towards the bottom. And this list is always going to be evolving. There's always going to be new things that I add and subtract from this. The valuations change, the thesis change, the trades always change. But this is here for Discord members. If you want to take part in this and the whole entire Discord in my 10-day training course, click the link below in the video description. It will change your life. But if you want to learn more about my stock option strategy, you have to watch this video right here. It's going to put all this into more deeper perspective, and it will truly change your life. I'll see you there.